welcome everybody back to Off the Rails podcast, episode 42. This is Tone right here, and I'm gonna see if I can get this right. And this is Jems. I did it.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Haha, that's Jems.
Oh shit, I messed it up.
Yes, go away from it. So Jems, what's up, man?
Oh, not much. In Indiana, sitting in my basement. What are you up to?
I am in Scottsdale, Arizona, sitting in a hotel.
Why are you in Scottsdale, Arizona?
Well, Jems, you may not have heard of it, but there's this thing called the Super Bowl happening this week. Tomorrow, technically, actually. And because of that, and because I produce for this wonderful podcast right here, the Man to Man Pod with AB and DB, I was lucky enough to come down to Scottsdale. Well, Phoenix is where we did our workout, but come down to Arizona and do some awesome work on the FanDuel stage to produce a live show. Two live shows, actually, for the Man to Man. So I apologize for my lighting. This is terrible lighting. I look like I have jaundice, but we're going to roll through it. But no.
Which Simpsons character does Tone look like this week? Not a
shit.
Kelsey.
Apparently, I would like Jason Kelsey, though, so I think that means the Eagles are winning. But,
Yeah, Jason was definitely who I voted for.
Because I'm a winner.
My lighting looks like crap because I've never done anything to fix it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I can see your lighting in your window.
Yeah, I don't know if it's better without the light or not. It's a
No.
little darker.
Nah, definitely need the lighting, I think.
Yeah, it's because I got a bright ass light behind me or in front of me, and a framed up wall. So it's like I'm like an eclipse.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, total eclipse of the heart. No, so I'm in Arizona for the Super Bowl, and I'm all done with all of my work. It was a wonderful weekend, a wonderful week. I was here from Wednesday, and I'll fly out tomorrow, which is Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. I'll be home in time to watch the game at my house. But so I think D-Butt's staying out here. I think he's doing Up and Adams podcast from the FanDuel Sportsbook at Footprint Arena, which is where the Mercury and the Suns play.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I actually went and ate some food there. Got a free drink on Liam because I worked for FanDuel, so that was pretty dope. So
nice.
Yeah.
They give you any credit to use in the sportsbook?
No, but they were doing this thing where they did if you went to the fan experience and you kicked a field goal, they gave you like a little ticket thing, and then you could bring that over and get a shirt and $25 site credit.
Did you kick a field goal?
I didn't, but I did since I'm cool, and I did get a shirt. So
that's nice. The Gronk shirt.
Yeah, so it says Gronk kick, you win.
Nice.
So pretty cool. So yeah, so that was pretty neat.
Get any other free stuff?
I got some cool stuff. I got some Up and Adams beanies, K Adams, because they just printed up a bunch in the colors of the Super Bowl teams. I think they're probably so the girls will probably get these.
Oh, those are nice.
Yeah, so let's go. I guess they had a bunch, so they were giving them away the last day. So I was like, yeah, I'll take one. So it's pretty cool. So got the kids a couple cool small gifts and stuff, but pretty fun stuff. Saw a bunch of people and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a good time.
Did the guys enjoy it? Like, were they hopefully doing that as a yearly thing? Like, was it?
I think that's the plan, which means the goal is for me to not be at my daily job.
Yeah.
Next year, because they've effectively, I think, told me this was like a one-time thing. They were going to let me do this because, unfortunately, this is also like a big day in my other job. So I think that's the goal, is to be out of there by next year, which we'll just push for. But I think big things are coming for the man-to-man pod and all that stuff. I think we did a really good job. I think a lot of people took note that we did a good job and liked what they saw and got a lot of positive feedback. And so I think that's the goal, is to push this thing to be really big, and I can do it full time. Probably mostly remote, I would guess, still, just for the nature of how the dudes move, but probably do a couple more live things, I would guess,
Yeah.
because I think they enjoyed the live aspect of it. I know AB for a fact was like, I could get used to this. So I think that's a thing I think we want to do more of. And I'll tell you what, I enjoyed it. It was definitely a bucket list item for me, as far as being able to in person produce the show. So it was very, very awesome for me. So also, I just posted a tweet while I was trying to figure out the Wi-Fi so we could do this, because I'm in a hotel and I totally forgot that I would have to figure out the Wi-Fi for that. But I posted a tweet thanking the Pat McAfee guys, but specifically Bailey, Zito, and Foxy. They were all super helpful in helping with some seamless setup. And then we had Vandal had a couple awesome people. Yeah, Vandal had a couple awesome people as well, back there, and I posted them in the secondary post. So yeah, so I was excited. Made some cool friendships with some of the FanDuel people. I think it was cool to put names to faces and stuff. Obviously, like, having interacted with all of those people for years, Darius, Antoine, this was the first time I got to meet them in person.
Maybe you'll meet him again before 300 more episodes.
That's right. Yeah, so we did the 300 episode, which was cool. Happened to fall on the last day, the last show, so that was real cool. And then yeah, but honestly, everyone over there was like super helpful, super cool. From Pat's guys to the FanDuel crew, to like the subcontractors who worked for the FanDuel crew too. Everyone did an awesome job, and it was crazy to see like the switching out of sets and all that kind of stuff. So I was only there one day when they switched. The first day I got there is when they switched out the Up and Adams, and then they switched that show set to Pat's set, and then Pat's set went to More Ways to Win, I think, and then went to something else, and then went to us. So like they had to change the set out a few times. The set's basically the same, but like the seating and like having the stuff plugged in for ears and all that kind of stuff. So it was really cool to see like them do a bunch of that stuff. So
what guests did Man to Man have on in studio?
Man to Man pod had on Thursday, we had Rudy Ford from the Packers. We had Clinton Portis, and then we had Tyvon Branch. Tyvon and Darius are like really good friends. So, and he's out here, so he was on the show. It was really cool because it was like a panel set. So we did we had Tyvon start on stage, and then we did like 6 minutes with him. He moved down like the Tonight Show, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yep.
And then Clinton Portis did about 10 minutes, and then we moved him down. And then after that, we did Rudy Ford for about 6 minutes, and then we just talked about like the player awards. I think was the play. No, Thursday was the honor. So Thursday we actually talked about the like KD trade, the Kyrie trade. We talked about some Super Bowl stuff, all that kind of jazz. I think we talked the LeBron stuff. So yeah, so it was super fun. Made a bunch of stuff graphics wise for that. I think the show looked really good on that end. Obviously, like the first day was the day where we had the most difficulty, because like it was just the unknown of like trying to figure out. I had a different sort of plan for the set, and then kind of had to make an audible at the end, and then redo a lot of things. So glad it worked out. Glad it got, made right. And then Friday we had who do we have Friday? We had this is how much of a blur it was. We had Christian Watson, we had Jeremy Chin, we had Jordan Schultz, whose dad invented Starbucks. And he's also like an insider.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, and then him and Darius have a relationship, and then we had who else did we have? We had a Poppin guest. He's the Colt safety, and I can't think of his name right off the top of my head because my brain's not working right now. He actually had 4 interceptions this year as a rookie. Rodney Thomas, the second.
The second. That's important.
Yeah, Rodney Thomas the second. So he actually interesting part. So a little bit behind the scenes. Basically, like we started that show with potentially like 5 guests. And then we lost a guest before, kind of like an hour before, and then we added a guest, and then we lost that guest because of bumping back in time and the time not working. So we were down to 2 guests, and then Jordan was like a 10-minute before show ad. And then while I'm producing the show, one of the guys from the Indianapolis media had interviewed Mr. Thomas, and then was like, "Hey, like, you got some former Colts secondary over here doing this thing, like, hey, let me go talk to them and see if like, I can have you on or whatever." And so he kind of popped in, and we were like, yeah, like, so it was like during the show on the fly audible, like was like, yeah, let's have him on as a guest. Didn't run it by the guys or nothing, but brought him on it, and I thought it was really good. I think it was really cool because obviously AB played safety for the Colts, so did Darius. Right. Also played DB, so it's really cool to have him on. And he was also I don't think we got to it on the show, but he's also the dude that was high school teammates with Damar Hamlin. So he's cool. He's the guy who got the interception that week, and then took the ball to the 3 or the 30-yard line for the 3. I don't know if you remember that when that happened.
I don't think I saw that.
But yeah, so really cool. It was really awesome. I think everything went super solid, as solid as it could have gone, especially for like the first iteration of doing a live show in that format for us.
Yeah. So by next year, you guys will be professionals at it. Are there any other like events or anything you guys would consider like going to a live show? NBA All-Star Weekend? You love NBA.
That'd be dope. I think we'd all love to do that. I think we'd all just be like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's just go do it. I mean, I love the NBA All-Star Weekend.
Right.
I got a feeling if I went to the NBA All-Star Weekend, somehow my hotel would have my brother in it because he's a massive NBA fan. And then, but
he has an NBA podcast, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does have an NBA podcast. It's called The Dream Team. If anyone wants to check it out, it's a pretty good podcast. If you're like a nerd about basketball and other things, like it's a good podcast. And then I know last year we did the Senior Bowl, where AB went by himself and did some interviews at the Senior Bowl. So I could see us doing that potentially, maybe. I don't know.
Do the combine.
No, I guess the Senior Bowl already happened, huh? Did that happen this week?
Yeah, that already happened.
Yeah. Okay. So that was the same time. Oh, that's right. Because we did it back-to-back last year. We did the Pro Bowl and then we did like the Senior Bowl last year. So yeah. So So we missed the Senior Bowl. So I'm sure there's other things. Like, I mean, we technically probably go do the draft, I guess. Like,
you should do the combine and then I'll come down to Indy.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. So I think there's definitely some opportunities. We could probably go do live at like the training camps and stuff. I mean, there's definitely some stuff we could probably do for sure.
You guys should have went to and got on number 16 at the Western the Waste Management Open while you guys are down there.
Dude, I thought about going today, honestly. It's like 10 minutes from my hotel.
I think a lot of guys were bouncing back and forth.
Oh yeah. Dude, the traffic out here was nuts, dude.
I bet.
Like, it was crazy. I took a couple Ubers and I was like, yo, are you guys busy? And they're like, yeah, between bouncing here to bouncing there. Like, because obviously when I'm taking my Uber, I was usually going down to the football stuff. So,
right. How far is your hotel from that stuff?
It's about 15 minutes, 15, 20 minutes.
Not a walk?
No. Although I did choose to ride the bus and the tram one time.
How was that?
That's cool. It's interesting. Though, ironically enough, so I take the bus. The bus was right outside here, so I just said, "Well, fuck it." One day I was like, I was looking at the Uber prices. So the first day I came, like Uber was one price from like downtown to here, and I was like, whatever, it's worth it. So the second day I was like, I did it reverse, and I was like, it's absurd. Why would I pay this price? This is nuts. Like absolutely. I'm like, fuck. I was like, they have public transportation. My wife like looked it up real quick, and she was like, oh yeah, it's like a day pass, and you get all of this. Like you get the bus, the tram, all that stuff. So I was like, well, fuck it, we'll just figure it out. So I looked it up. It's like a 7 mile bus ride to Tempe, straight shot. So it's like you can't mess it up. You get off of the bus stop, and then you're right at the tram that takes you down to the thing and drops you off right in front of the building you have to go to. So I was like, well, I can figure that out. So I did that, and it was pretty cool. It was a cool experience. I had time to kill that day anyway, so.
You drinking coffee?
I am. I made it in this like weird like my wife's. I sent a picture to my wife. She said it looks like a toy coffee machine.
Oh, is it one of those little? Yeah. Yeah, I think the girls have that in their play kitchen.
Yeah. So it makes coffee. So I was like, sweet, like it.
That's all that matters.
I'm gonna have coffee now, and then probably when we get off, I'm gonna go have a celebratory drink at the Speakeasy downstairs.
Do you have to like open like a payphone door and then you walk in there? Or?
I kind of hope so, to be honest with you. I didn't ask, but I kind of hope so.
It's got to be hidden, right? If it's a speakeasy.
I don't know. They told me at the front desk that there was a speakeasy, so I don't know how a speakeasy is.
I always thought they were like hidden, like you got to open a bookcase or something, because that was like during Prohibition, where like you couldn't drink, so they had to be hidden.
Yeah, it was like the hidden stuff. Yeah, where they'd have like a front, like, and then you'd have to like know the code.
Right. Maybe it's fronted as a hotel and there's a bar in there.
Speaking of that, I just drank all the grounds. That was not good. But if you had a speakeasy, what would be your mechanism to transport the people to another room? Like, would you have a code word? Would you have like a button or a book you had to pull? Like, what would be your go-to?
Public restroom.
Public restroom. Okay.
You get one of the stalls and you got to like sit on the chair and like you do something to get it to turn and be like, oh shit, I'm in a bar. Something that would actually like surprise people too. Like somebody would go in there just like legitimately go to the bathroom and
that'd be kind of interesting. Huh. Well, I think you would have to have it be something that would be hidden. So you couldn't have it be like the flusher, because then everybody would be in your speakeasy. So
it'd be like a coat hanger or something you had to hit, or
like the little hanger on the back of the door or something like that.
Yeah, or like how there's like double toilet paper rolls and one's usually covered up.
Yeah.
Like that's the one that's covered up just stays covered up, but like if you know, you know.
That's a good one. That's kind of cool. I like that. I think mine would be like I wonder what they usually put the speakeasies in, right?
There was one in Nashville. We didn't end up going to it, but it was like a payphone where you dialed a certain number and it opened.
But I mean, like what were like in real life? What were the speakeasies like in? What was like the front for most of the speakeasies?
I assume it was like the back door of something. Like you'd walk into like a bookstore and then you'd have to go open a door in the back, or you'd walk into like a pool hall. Or
I know this is stupid. I know it's stupid, but I'm about to look this up. See like what most of the fronts, because I think that would be the big thing. Is like what's the front on these? Like
grocery store, probably anything that looks not suspicious.
How do you think that got around, right? Like without like the people who were trying
social media.
Yeah, social media.
1930s social media.
What was 1930s social media though?
The newspaper, but they didn't put that in the newspaper. That would have been word of mouth.
Yeah. What was the front of a speakeasy?
Library.
What the fudge? It's not okay. Speakeasy. Oh, what was the front of a speakeasy called? A speakeasy, also called a blind pig or blind tiger, is an illicit establishment that sells alcoholic beverages or a retro-style bar that replicates. Okay, that is awesome, but cool. What was a prohibition bar called? Got you.
Speakeasy.
No shit. So we're quite useful. Okay, I found one that has like a little history, so we're gonna do a brief history of speakeasies.
There we go.
All right, so I don't need to understand the Prohibition era. Illegal drinking in speakeasies. In a way, Prohibition did yield some positive results. Drinking accidents and injuries in the workplace did decrease. Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know. My fucking thing just came out. Did I fucking? I unplugged it. Sorry. I'm trying to charge my phone so it doesn't die. But by the way, hotels are real cool that like they have a straight up like USB plugins.
Yeah. The hotel I stayed at when I went to India a couple weeks ago had that,
Yeah.
but I think 2 of the 4 that were near my bed did not work.
Oh well, that's not good. That's not good. They have to work for it to be cool.
Right.
So passing laws, blah blah blah, within a month. Okay, blah blah blah. Okay, within months of passing the law, the illegal manufacturing of alcohol had become a widespread craze. Bootlegging, as a practice came to be called, was quite common and hard to get a legal taper on. So that's cool. So they were having a hard time stopping that shit. Many were crafting new kinds of illegal liquor known as moonshine pure, blah blah blah. Practice. The mob and mafia rose as illegal drinking provided a need that could be filled outside of the law, most notably Chicago mobsters. That tells you nothing about fucking speakeasies. Okay. A wide number of outposts selling alcohol sprung up in secret locations across the country. This was the birth of the speakeasy as we know it. The average citizen would gain entry to one of these establishments and would purchase and drink illegal alcoholic beverages. These speakeasies were hidden away, often in the back room of other types of establishments. No shit. They were part of an underground economy and were careful about who they let in. Often there was a password required for entry. So that's one thing. Okay. This would help protect the speakeasy. The actual identity of these speakeasies could vary greatly. They could be somewhat grand places with large dance floors and jazz bands. What the fuck? If I'm trying to hide, I'm not putting a fucking jazz band in my fucking.
I feel like that's what you see in like the movies, though. Like Great Gatsby would have that.
Yeah. Or they could be dingy back rooms lit only by candlelight. Speakeasies helped to fuel the raucous and party-fueled spirits of the era.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, oh shoot. Okay. Men and women drank together more frequently, and bar owners began to craft drinks that were specifically targeted to women. So, probably some of those like girlier drinks we have to thank just to speak
From
easy.
Prohibition. I know there was a Simpsons episode where they had Prohibition and they used the bowling alley to.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, they filled the thumb holes with booze and then poured it out in the back.
How badass would it be if your grandparents were like, hey, where'd you guys meet? Grandma and Meemaw, fucking whatever.
Grandma and Meemaw.
Whatever. Maybe they're lesbians.
2023.
You don't know. Grandpa and Meemaw, where'd you guys meet? And they were like, we met in a speakeasy. Like, you're like, yo, they were fucking breaking the law. That's mad. That's dope, right?
Yeah. Here's a funny story. When I was a kid, like 6 or 7, I was asking questions to my grandma about like when she was born and stuff, and I was always been pretty good at math, and I'd figured out that she was in 1960 when my mom was born. I was like, oh, so you were 16. And she was like turned beet red and was super embarrassed. She talked about that for years, like how like that embarrassed her that I at such a young age figured that out. That was normal back then. I didn't think
yeah, definitely more normal.
But she was like, yeah.
Yeah. If it was 2015, she'd be on Teen Mom.
I know, she could have had a TV show.
Damn, see?
Dang it.
That's the thing, is like, right? Like, so we talk about like shit like speakeasies and like World War I and II and like Hitler and like all these things that happened, like the A bomb and all this shit, right? Like what the fuck are like our great grandkids gonna be talking about? They're gonna be like, Grandpa did a fucking podcast.
The Air Force or whatever shooting down UFOs the last 2 days.
like,
They have to talk about.
like what the fuck, man? Like, yeah, like I guess they'll talk 9/11 maybe.
Yeah, but like even the kids like that I coach now weren't alive for 9/11.
Yeah, it's wild, dude. Fucking speaking of that, going back to what we started with, I met Brett Michaels.
I saw that he was on Pat's show.
Yeah. So, and I was telling my daughter that Pat had Brett Michaels on, right? And that like I met him in the back, and she was like, "I have no clue who that is." And then I was like, I sang her like a little bit of like "Every Rose Has a Thorn," and she was like, "I've never heard that song," and I was like, I don't know what to tell you.
How was Brett Michaels?
He actually legitimately seemed like a really nice dude. Like,
Yeah.
He like I think he like wanted people to like him for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, at one point I did witness him and Flava Flav have a big bear hug, and Flava Flav go, "Yeah, boy!" Like it was crazy.
You're like, I've made it.
It was nuts, dude. I was
like, this is like VH1 2006.
It was wild, dude. I was like, what the fuck? I don't know what was weirder, that moment or when I first met AB. He was doing Takeo Spikes, his podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just standing there, and I told you this, but like I turned around and like 10 feet away from me was like Joe Montana. like, yeah. Or last night when I went to the back into the VIP to get a drink at the FanDuel Superstar Spectacular or whatever that was called, Superstar Showdown.
Yeah.
Because Darius was hosting, and I had VIP passes. So I went to the back bar where everything was free, which is cool.
That is cool.
Open bar can't be an open bar. I kept it under control. I think I had like 4 drinks. I was Ubering anyway, so I was like, I'm not driving. One time I was back there, Shannon Sharp walked by, and then like because Shannon Sharp walked by, like, and I caught him, and I was like, oh shit, that's Shannon Sharp, and he walked by, and I kind of like followed him with my eyes. I realized Kenny the Jet Smith was talking to Donovan McNabb, who was like right over by Howie Mandel. I was like, I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like,
was your head like on a swivel the entire time? Like
the entire like 4 days, yeah. But I mean, like, it was cool, but it was like also like I'm not like I don't get like starstruck,
right?
So like it's like it was more so like, oh shit, like the first day I was there, I was like editing some stuff, sitting in a chair waiting to check into my hotel. So I was like behind Pat's show, kind of getting the vibes and stuff of what's going on. And fucking like Debo Samuels cloaked the corner, and I was like, that's cool, it's Debo Samuels. Like Stephen A. Smith walked past. You're like, like, okay, like Carson Palmer was standing 2 feet from me. Like it was just like one of those things where it was like Golick and Golick Jr. were like right at the entrance. I didn't get enough courage to say hi to Golick Jr. I wish I did, because I really do enjoy Golick Jr. shit.
You saw a lot of Notre Dame guys.
Did see a lot of Notre Dame guys. The only other person that I didn't get to, so if I had to say, there were a few people that I didn't get to like connect with that I wanted to connect with as far as on that level, was like I fist bumped Pat. We talked to Pat a little bit, nothing too crazy. Talked to all those guys. So like I felt like, cool connections there, whatever. But it was ironic because so when I walked in, Golick Jr. was there, and I was like, oh shit. He was kind of the first person I really saw where I was like, oh fuck, like this is where we're at. Like, and like, so I was like, I wanted to say hi, and there was no one around. I probably could have done it, but I just didn't want to be like that guy. Like, that's just not who I am. But I really like enjoy Golick Jr. And then I saw on Twitter that Will Compton and Taylor Lewan were there, and I didn't see them at all. I wish I would have seen them, because I like bussing with the boys.
Right. I saw several pictures of him like talking to Pat and stuff.
Yeah, I totally just like never saw them, so I was like, "Fuck that." I wish I would have seen them because I would like to tell them I like their show.
Mm-hmm.
But one and Darius has been on the show, but Michael Smith. Do you know who Michael Smith is? He hosted.
Again,
Yeah.
was he?
He,
Did he used to be on Around the Horn a lot?
he was on Around the Horn a lot. He ended up hosting with Jamel Hill, Sports Center.
Okay.
At one point, but they had a podcast and then a show. Well, they had a podcast called His and Hers. They had a show that was like Numbers Never Lied, but then turned into kind of His and Hers. And
Yeah,
it was like
I know.
the first,
I know
and it
who
was
he is.
the,
I looked it up.
and it was the first podcast that I mean, I had listened to podcasts before. It was the first podcast that I like regularly listened to where I was
Mhm.
like, I'm a fan of this podcast. Like I enjoy it. Like when it drops, I listen to it, all that kind of stuff. So I saw him and I didn't get a chance to say hi to him because I would have been like, yo, like part of the reason why I'm here is probably because of that dude, like,
Yeah.
getting into podcasts and stuff. So it was a cool, like, I wouldn't say career defining moment, but it was like one of those like kind of like retrospective things. Like it's weird that like from where like I started with things
Mm-hmm.
that I'm in this room with all these people that like kind of in a way like had a reason why I started down the path, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it'll be full circle when like you're inducting AB in the Hall of Fame or something.
Yeah, I told AB we were talking about it because I put AB's Super Bowl ring on, which was cool because when he came in to dap me up the first day, I noticed he had a Super Bowl ring on, right? So I told my wife, I was like, AB had a Super Bowl ring on. It was like cool. It was the first thing I noticed. And then she was like, "That's so cool." And she was like, because she's a giant Colts fan. She was like,
Right.
she's like, it's like that's like super neat. And then after our first show, we dapped up, and we were just killing time sort of after the show, and I was telling him, I was like, yeah, I was telling her, and he was just like, you want to put it on? And I was like, okay, yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna refuse. When's the next chance I'm gonna get to put a fucking Super Bowl ring on my finger?
Right.
So I'm like, why not? So I put a Super Bowl ring on. It was pretty cool. I took a picture of it. So I was like, that's weird things. Ironically, I noticed the last day we were there, so they had all of the Super Bowl banners up.
Yeah.
From all the Super Bowls around the top. And right where the FanDuel stage was, like I've now learned this. Did you know that when you say stage this, you're talking about from performing on the stage?
So okay. So if you say stage left, I'm on stage. I'm going that way.
Yes.
My left.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The performer's left. Okay.
Yeah, I learned that this week.
Not sure if I ever thought about it. I think.
Yes.
I don't know. I did watch Hamilton this morning, but.
So stage left is when you're looking out to the crowd. If you're to your left, is that stage left?
Okay.
So stage left, like almost like right at the corner, directly out was Super Bowl that AB won the banner for was there.
Oh, that's cool.
Which was one cool, but also then I was like looking at it after the Friday show, and I looked up and I was like, AB, isn't that the one you guys won? And he was like, yep, Super Bowl 41. And I was like, Super Bowl 41, you're fucking 41. He was like, yeah. He's like, it was meant to be. Like, I was like, that's so crazy. I was like, I never put together that the Super Bowl he won was Super Bowl 41.
Was that always his number? Like, did he wear that every stop he was at?
Every stop in the NFL, yeah. So he got it in Indy. When he went to San Francisco, I think he tried out 24, didn't like it, so he went to 41.
Huh.
And then he was 41 for the rest of his career, which fits him. Like when I think of 41, I think of AB. So
right,
like yeah. So
AB 41 sounds better on Twitter than AB 24.
Yeah, sure, good point. Antoine Bethea 41.
Yeah.
He's got a sweet ass logo too. I don't know who designed his logo, but he's got a cool logo that incorporates the 41 into the AB.
Is it? I don't have to look it up.
It's pretty dope. Like whoever thought of it, very good. I've never asked him who thought of that. It's a dope logo though. And so yeah, so it was super interesting though. I had an interesting time. Had a fun time. Got to see Darius hosts like I said, the FanDuel Superstar Showdown, in which I ended up getting a selfie with Rob Riggle, which was kind of cool. Like,
I woke up to that this morning.
yes, I enjoyed getting that selfie with Rob Riggle. It was pretty cool. It was really cool too, though, like to see Darius get like the love from the fans. Like there was like a whole line of people like, DB, can I get a picture? Can I get an autograph? Like I actually got noticed. This is so when I walked in, right? Because I had to come back to the hotel to drop my bag off because you couldn't take bags in. So I came back to the hotel and I just went. And so I was wearing this hoodie and what I was wearing for the show on Friday, whatever. And so I get my VIP bracelet. I walk through the normal crowd or whatever. And I'm like there's got to be a stage somewhere because last year they were on the stage or whatever, and then there was like the actual stage. I was like, I'm looking for it, and I'm like, I think I found it. I'm like walking over there, and these dudes literally go, "You looking for D-Butt?" And I was like, I actually am looking for D-Butt. And they were like, he's gonna be over here, and they were like, you have a man-to-man hoodie on. That's crazy. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, how'd you get that? I was like, I produced the show. And they were like, you're Tone? So I was like, I am Tone.
Guilty.
So it's pretty funny. I had a conversation with these three dudes, and then one of them was joking. He was like, "Is there any way you think we could get a picture with D-Bud?" I was like, "I can't promise you anything, but I was like, I can try." Like, so D-Bud came up on stage, and I was like, "D-Bud," and he like looked around, and I was like, and he was like, he looked at me, he was like, so he did whatever he did on the stage for a second, and then he came down. And I was like, how do I get on the backside of this? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know if you can come back here or not. I was like, and then the security guard was like, what color's your bracelet? I was like, green. He was like, you can go wherever the fuck you want. I was like, sweet, cool. And then, so I was like, hey, D-Bud, do you mind taking a picture with these dudes? And so they got a picture. It was pretty cool. And then, but then after the show, like there was a line of people who wanted like autographs and pictures, and they were clearly fans from like Pat's show, and then also like they were like, oh, we love the man-to-man pod. Like, so it was really cool, like to see like him getting his shine because he's definitely crushing it in that field. So
right, yeah, he's gonna keep growing, I assume. Like,
oh,
he does
for sure,
fantastic job.
Yeah, he does a great job. He definitely does a great job for the FanDuel stuff. I know, like everybody I talked to over the weekend about D-Butt, like they were like, he's on the rise and he's cool, and it's cool that to see him like continue to like grow and like do big things and stuff. So
you used to always like say, oh, that guy could be on Monday Night Football, but Monday Night Football is locked up for like ever now with Troy and Joe.
Well, the crazy thing is I don't think you have to do Monday Night Football anymore. Like I think that landscape's changed too.
Yeah,
because I mean, like, and then to go back to Radio Row, right? So actually, this year they called it Media Row. Because like, and I was telling AB this, I was like, man, when you were in the Super Bowl the first time, I bet you this was all like radio, just like traditional radio, like
in like a convention center too. It seemed
yeah.
like,
And now it's like now it's like podcasts and like web streams and fucking all that shit. Like, so I was like, this to watch how the things changed in just like his football career, basically, because AB's only been retired for like a year now, I think.
Right.
Basically.
Did they do it like they used to do it, where on like Tuesday they had all the players out there to answer questions and stuff?
They did. I think they didn't do as many players though, but they were in the 300 level. And one of those days I went up, I think it was maybe Wednesday, because I might have maybe it was Thursday. Whatever day I went up, if you go up in the thing, there was like a media suite where like you could get like coffee and like juice and stuff. Like they had like a little spread or whatever. And I went up there one day, and one of the guys from the booth was like, "Yo, were you up here like, or did you just get up here?" And I was like, "I just got up here." He's like, "Dude," he's like, "You just missed Adele. She just walked out." So I was like, "Oh, sweet." So it was pretty cool. I was like,
there's somebody she loves football or something. I just saw something about her. There's somebody like she really likes. It's a football player.
I know she loves The Rock.
Maybe that's what it was. Who used to be a football player, so that works. That's what it was.
Yeah, but it was wild. I think she's doing something at the Super Bowl.
She's not doing the halftime show unless she's jumping in with Rihanna, which maybe you just broke news.
Maybe I did. Fuck. Breaking news. Adele Super Bowl. I think she's doing I think she's singing something, but she's not singing the national anthem because she's not. American.
Do they make Americans only do that? I guess that makes sense.
Adele on the only reason she's going to the Super Bowl. Adele, blah blah blah. Rihanna set to perform. She says she's just going for Rihanna. I don't know.
Interesting. I think you just broke news. I mean, I guess obviously people know she's there. But like, Tone had a conversation with Adele, and she will be performing at the halftime show with Rihanna at some point.
I have no clue, but like Rihanna was up there for some reason. Or Adele was up there for some reason. I don't know. That's what they told me. I didn't see her, so that could be all lies. But
I'm sure she was there.
someone told me that Adele. I just missed Adele. So
Yeah, I mean, if I was in a room and then somebody new walked in, and Adele had just walked out, I probably would have told them that too.
that's what I'm saying. So I don't know.
That
I did
experience.
miss Gary V. I wish I would have seen Gary V. He was there apparently.
He was on Pat Show Friday.
Yeah, and I guess I missed it. So I think he might have done it before I got there.
I think he was later in the show, like 1, 2 o'clock, maybe.
Maybe I was over at iHeartRadio because I went over to iHeartRadio with the dudes to do a podcast with Peanut Tillman and Roman Harper. They did. I walked over there with them.
I walked. It sounded like you were gonna say I walked him over there. Like I was their security.
Well, the funny thing is, I did. So like the fourth member of our team called me and was like, "Hey, do you mind walking the guys over there?" And I was like, "We're already standing over here because I already like." But like, I mean, they could have found it themselves. I just knew. Right. I just happened to know where it was. So I was like, I know where it's at. It's over here. So we kind of walked and talked. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy though. I mean, just the whole thing's nuts.
Did a lot of the shows and stuff while they were live, like I know you said you have an Up and Adams beanie and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Did they have like merch tables set up, or like did they have people running around stuff, or
no? Surprisingly not. Like you would think so, right? Like Up and Adams had like a bunch of beanies. I think she was giving away gift bags to like guests and stuff. Like yeah. I know she had like a bar kind of set up in front of a stage. Mm-hmm. And then she was doing like beer pong throws and stuff. But I didn't see anybody doing like merch, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Like, cause like when you came down the elevator, right? Like you badged in because I have a credential and stuff. When you badge in, like you show your badge and then they're like, yeah, you can go down here. And it was media only, which mm-hmm. might have been the reason why maybe no merch. If maybe it was the fans, it would have made sense, but
right.
It was technically media only. But there was like an open, like sort of like there was concessions and then like there was like an open area and stuff like that. And then, yeah, so I was like, the open area would have been perfect if like you had like a stage inside and then you had like a booth or something that was like selling, merch or something. But I guess
I'll volunteer as tribute if that happens next year.
We did talk about, we had a lot of people compliment us on our hoodies. So hopefully these will be coming soon. So we had a lot of people want them. So.
You have a solid fan base. I would think getting some merch out there would be a good idea.
We do have a solid fan base, which is awesome. I'm very appreciative of our solid ass fan base too. Like, the guys do a really good job interacting with them. And then obviously just like the type of people they are. I think obviously we have some overlap with Pat and because we're Pat fans, like, right. Like, you're pretty, it feels like a community. And that's the same way that the man-to-man stuff feels like. So it's really awesome. So
I'll be excited for the Producer Tone merchandise line.
I'd be tight. Yeah. No.
Maybe some of the ideas you've expressed in the past, you can just apply to man and be like,
I probably could.
They would work.
I bet you. I mean, yeah, it's buck wild, man. Like it's wild. I mean, it's wild because like I think like I don't ever get like too big on myself or too down on myself. I think everything happens for a reason. So like when the whole thing with like Pat back in the day and like potentially working for Pat and having those conversations, and then like him getting hired by ESPN and him getting hired by, fucking that NFL and WWE and everything under the
Everything.
sun, and then coming back and trying again and all that stuff. Like it's been about 3 times where we've talked about it and like it didn't pan out, but it's like it's pretty cool because it's like while it would have been awesome for that to have panned out, like because I enjoy Pat's show and it would be cool to be part of that. It's also, and who knows, maybe at some point in as they grow, they need somebody else or whatever, and that happens anyway. But like, I always feel things happen for a reason. So like, that led me to the path of like the fact that Pat was even like reached out to me and was like, "Hey, like, I like what you do or whatever." Like that gave me like a
confidence.
the first real like ideal of like, oh shit, I could do this, right? Like, and so like that kind of like made me like learn more and step up and do more stuff. And then because of that, like when the man-to-man opportunity happened, like I was ready for it. And then when Pops Adams wanted me to do that, I was ready for that. And then when he went on a hiatus and DeQuell did his, I was ready for that. And like the graphic design work that I do, all that kind of stuff, like it was just like confidence that I could do it, right? So, and it's just I have a confidence that I can do it. I have a confidence that I think in a way that I could be beneficial to a number of teams and everything that goes on, right? So it's like it's cool that like it's while it's like, man, it would be cool like had it worked out, but it's also like it's cool that it didn't work out too, because it still led me to where I am. So, and this week was kind of like the full circle of that. You're like, I'm here,
right,
doing this, and it's like, from where I came from and how like I got here, like it's a little absurd to be honest.
right. Well, if that first time with Pat worked out, you might have been like funneled into like one specific area, and you would not be the Swiss Army man that you are.
That's true. That's very true. Yeah, I might have just done graphics or done something else, but like.
But the obvious next step for you is to be associated with New Heights.
Since I'm lost, Kelsey. Did. Yeah, I mean it's cool. Like I enjoy it. Like I think it's a growing media. I think it's a growing market, and I'm excited to see what the future holds with it. Honestly, like even with this very podcast right here, like I mean the possibilities of this podcast, like getting a sponsor and growing and all that kind of stuff. Like I mean, I think people are yearning for media, and I think I'm even more in tune with that this week, having been around a bunch of media seeing how big this market actually is. Like,
right, you probably you picked up a lot of new ideas and how things work, and
a little bit, yeah. Like it definitely, like I definitely think like live producing a show, like in the traditional sense, is definitely something I can do. Like now that I've done it. Also, like doing it the way we're doing it right now. Which, by the way, I ran this same system, which I mean, no one else will see, but like there's a system of how we record this. Like I ran the same system through that. We just used external measures to like cut the cameras in a certain way and all that kind of stuff. So like, I mean, it's definitely doable even remotely. So like the cool thing is like if like there's a number of ways to do it, and that's the cool thing about I guess technology and inventions and stuff like that. Like to bring it full circle, I mean we talked speakeasies, and speakeasies were an invention formed by criminalization, like necessity. Like so it's like I think when this thing started, like with the pandemic and stuff like that, I mean, and now we're 300 episodes in, I mean, at the Super Bowl, which is pretty cool. So,
well, even from when the pandemic, even before the pandemic hit, like when we first started the stuff that Matt had started with the internet people,
Yeah.
friends. I think we were on like Google Teams or some shit like that. It was a mess. And
Yeah.
I'm sure that was a bitch to edit and do. I don't even know if they put any episodes out or anything.
Yeah.
I remember recording a couple and I don't know how it went, but it was such a clusterfuck.
Yeah.
So getting to like the pandemic obviously made it where everybody knew how to use Zoom. Obviously, this isn't Zoom, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think you were ahead of the game with StreamYard
Which
because
which credits to Tyler. Tyler turned me on to StreamYard. So
did
um
did we record our first episode of your podcast before COVID? During was that 2019 or was that 2020? We were already in COVID times.
I believe it was before COVID, to be
It might
honest
have
with
been February of 2020 or
you. It
something,
might have been
right?
right before. I'm actually gonna look it up right now. I can get the episode
If
real
it
quick.
was 19, that's wild because this is 2023 right now, and we'd be
I want
sitting.
to say it was January. I want to say it was January. So it
Yeah,
might
it
have been
was either January or February of early, not
Swiss,
early, but
Swiss Army Man. Let's see. Let's go see. I am finding your episode. Gems. It says it's 2 years ago. So
so
I'm about to
there's no
mute
way it
it.
was 21.
It says it was published. I can tell you the exact date because it should have it on here. February 17th, 2020.
Dang, so just right before we didn't know what shit was about to hit the fan. We were
No.
just worried about writing a kid's book.
Right? It's crazy. It's nuts. And yeah, now we're 42 episodes into this. We're gonna have back-to-back episodes that came out because I dropped one Tuesday, and then we'll drop this one Tuesday.
That's a record. Like, we're gonna go on a hitting streak. We're gonna try for free.
We're gonna fucking. I almost said Roger Maris. We're gonna fucking Lou Gehrig this bitch. Like, just crush it. I'm excited though. I'm excited to do more of these, and I honestly like. Not that I ever found a lull in it, but like, I definitely, I felt like I needed a recharge.
Well, you do a lot of shit like
Um,
media wise, so
yeah,
producing multiple podcasts and then having to record one, it probably seems more like a chore sometimes than it
no,
is.
this never feels like a chore. The only thing that feels like a chore with this is like, we have very like, we both have very busy schedules, so it's like
Right.
just trying to make the time to make it work. I love getting on and talking with you. That's not an issue at all.
For sure.
Like,
It's almost like a therapy session. Like I
Yeah.
felt like I seem to be in a better mood now that we've started doing this again from when we had like 6 months off. Like,
yeah, no, for sure. I love it. I mean, like, I love. Well, you're like one of my best friends, so like, of course, I definitely like. I love. I mean, we text all the time. Even when we weren't recording, we were texting.
right. And I would have to reassure Taylor that she's like, you and Tone need to record. I said, I still talk to him like every day.
Yeah.
Like, yes, we do. But like, it's not like something happened.
No, it's just the timing was fucked, and again, timing for everything, right? So it's like we launched this season, then we had this cool like last episode was like talking all about the Super Bowl and fun stuff. Now we're doing the episode 3 of this season, and it's like post Super Bowl media rush, and like, so it's like, we have cool stuff to talk about. We have stuff that's going to continue to pop up, and it's going to be awesome, and I feel like we, like I said, this really recharged, this being here recharged a lot of like my faith in like the way that like, one, I go about things, two, how just how big the space is, like, because sometimes you feel like you like put these out and you're like, well shit, like, like, and not that it's big numbers yet, but like, I mean, our second episode of this season did 3 times more views on YouTube than the first episode, and did, I think, 3 times more audio downloads. So like,
Nice.
It's like a continuous growth, and that's the thing. I think it's the big thing is I think we're onto something with like what we do, especially when we get guests on. I think we're both really good at that. I think these conversations, like, very, very really a little bit behind the mask, like, we don't plan a ton of shit. Like, we hop on and we talk, and we're 56 minutes into this thing and have
I would say it's definitely rare if we plan something. Like nothing's ever like scripted, so to say. It's like, oh shit, we need to talk about Tone going to the Super Bowl, obviously.
No, yeah.
But I did get a text from above.
Okay.
That said, I agree in all capital letters.
Okay.
I'm in the tub and I can hear, but you are in a much better mood since you started recording again. It's something fun for you that you don't have to think too much about, so you look forward to it.
Taylor from the clouds.
And
she's the unofficial like third host of the show.
She's like the editor fact checker from above. She's like, I can't believe you said that. Or no, you took another girl home before me, or whatever it was.
That was pretty funny. Yeah.
Speaking of internet friends, next week at this exact time, I will be at Tanner's wedding. Tanner, the Vanilla Gorilla Johnson in Wisconsin. The wife and I are headed up there Friday, and we're going to spend the weekend up for his wedding.
Hell yeah. I'm excited for Tanner. Tanner's one of my favorite people. Oh, shit. Sorry for the yawn. Tanner's one of my favorite people. I think I said last week, Tanner is one of my favorite episodes of this podcast. We had a really good episode with him when he came on.
And Tanner prefers triangle cut pizza over square cut pizza, so he's twice as respectable as everybody else.
That's true. I mean, triangle's the way to go always. Like square is like it'll do, but like we'll try.
The only time I'm okay with square cut pizza is if it's a rectangle pizza.
That's true.
If you get some of these big ass pizzas, like we have JJ's Pizza Shack, and they have this thing called the kitchen sink. And I think the idea is they take all the ingredients they have in there and just throw them on there on a sheet pan pizza. It's the size of this desk I'm sitting at.
Makes sense.
Like we order it at work, but that has to be rectangularly cut. But other than that, it's stupid.
Well, like Little Caesars, right? They do like a lunch special, and they do like a little, like it's almost like a mini deep dish. And they're rectangular pieces, and they're good, but it's like I prefer the triangle pieces.
I got another text from the cloud on this pizza issue, but I'm not gonna give it the time of day because I don't like putting it out there that my wife is wrong about things to the public. So
okay. Well, you read between the lines on that one of what she said.
Yeah.
Because I'm picking up what Jems is putting down, I think.
She says if it's from a small pizza shop, square cut is better. I just think they're trying too hard. If it's a round pizza, you cut it triangularly.
Well, hold on. If it's from a small pizza shop, like what, made for like small people? Like
I don't know, not a chain.
But still, are they making pizzas in a circular motion? Like if you're making pizzas in a circular motion, you should be. Why are you making pizza square? Unless you're making deep dish or something. And then even then, that's a lasagna, pretty much.
If it's from a small pizza shop, square cut pizza is better. This is coming from my wife, not me. Chain triangle is better. Mom and pop like Albano's, which is one of our local places.
Is their pizza rectangular shape?
I don't think so. I think it's triangular. I don't know.
Their pizza's not triangular.
Right. I meant
the pizza's circular.
There's too many shapes. I'm shaped out here. I do have to work in the morning. I'm working actually instead of Monday through Friday this week. I'm Sunday through Thursday to go to Tanner's wedding.
Hey, heck yeah. Well, then maybe this is the way we end it. We'll set up the question this week. Is triangle slices better than square slices or rectangular slices?
Yeah, I think the question will be what
four-sided or three-sided,
triangle or rectangle / square.
Yeah. So that's the question of the week. So everybody, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you checking out all of the social media stuff and all of the podcast stuff that I do for sure, and what me and Jems do. It means the world to me. I know it means the world to Jems.
Yes.
I am Tone. That is Jems. Jems, any parting shots? And I went the wrong fucking way.
I did it right this time.
Damn.
I just want to thank anybody that listens, whether you're through speakers or from the bathtub, I appreciate you all.
All right, that's the way. Hey, we're so good you can listen in the bathtub, just not with like plugged in stuff because you might get electrocuted. So,
Yeah, as long as she's not sitting up there listening through the toaster, I'm happy.
yeah, so don't listen through the toaster. And that's how we're gonna end this show. Bye, people.
Welcome